Welcome to the Randomise User Top 10 Games that aren't No Man's Sky, but they are a little bit. If you ripped off their limbs and reassembled the gory chunks, you might just Frankenstein it into the game everybody's talking about, although you might also go to prison. The following games aren't in any order, but let's kick off with a real humdinger. Mirror Moon EP. The first person to land on each planet of Mirror Moon gets to name it. Sound familiar? Like No Man's Sky, Mirror Moon is a single-player exploration game where you can choose which planet to go to with mere hints as to the existence of other people. But Mirror Moon is about puzzles, a treasure hunt, and is abstract as dicks. You get no hand-holding here. It generally goes for peanuts in Steam sales too. Starbound. The number of planets in Starbound can be measured in the quadrillion, which is what mathematicians call a lot. It's not as many as No Man's Sky's quintillions, but that's still a shitload of procedural generation. It's almost tempting to call No Man's Sky a 3D Starbound, with endless planets, random creatures, and a multi-tool matter manipulator as standard. But Starbound does have Fluffalo, making it a very different game. Elite. No Man's Sky's Sean Murray has said he loves Elite, unsurprisingly. The Elite series was born in 1984, with the original lauded as one of the most influential games of all time, even if its roots can be traced back further to text-only space trading adventure games of the 1970s. Elite was a game that said, "Hello, this is what games can do," and it pointed firmly to the future, that we're in now. Hello. Lost World Zero. A game that stalled during early access, Lost World Zero only had one map to explore, but its colourful alien visuals and spaceships whizzing around the sky had a very similar look to No Man's Sky. It was also multiplayer, but let's not pick at that scab. Norman's Sky. I'm just going to literally read the official feature list of this 8-bit tribute to No Man's Sky, because it's a beaut. Every dot in the sky can actually be reached and landed on. Equipped with a hyperbrake, you can actually achieve stable orbits around bodies. Awful sounds to go with the resolution. Seamless planetary landings. And, well, nothing really much else. No Man's Sky was made for the low-res Jam 2016 and can be downloaded for free, which last time I checked is less than 40 quid. Illumin. No Man's Sky's score is by Sheffield-based 65 Days of Static and is generated by an algorithm on the fly. Procedural music is a fascinating area, but runs the risk of being like Starbound's planets. They all start to feel a bit the same after a while. But that's almost what you want with an ambient score. Unobtrusive, but reassuringly maintains a mood. Upcoming roguelike Illumin takes a different track. The soundtrack is generated in real time by the gameplay itself, with melodic adaptive tracks that can blend together and include random variations, plus adding audio clues to help you establish the location of enemies and the like. Just a shame the game isn't Sheffield-based, really. Rimworld. Funny how many of these games are ones I've done videos on so I can link to them, isn't it? Rimworld is about isolation, trying to make things work on an alien planet covered in weird monsters. It's about making do with resources and working hard to earn more. But Rimworld's goal is to build a spaceship and escape the planet, whereas in No Man's Sky, that's just the start of the story. Oh, and for this top 10 I was going to include games that were way more pessimistic and lonely, and were generally more haunting in their feelings of isolation. But No Man's Sky is kind of upbeat and cheerful, isn't it? I admit that kind of surprised me, a little. Jetpack. From 1983, here's Jetpack. Crash land on a planet, see exotic aliens, refuel your ship, and escape. It's an old story, although set in the future, so it's actually a new story. Time is weird. Minecraft. Oh, it's the ultimate sandbox in it. I almost didn't include this because it's too obvious, but then I thought it's too obvious to be too obvious, so here it is. Although the two games are nothing alike, so maybe it's not obvious at all. Although to be fair, both games use a 64-bit seed to generate their gubs, so something about exploration. Next! And finally, every other game. While they're unlikely to have been influences, you can see parallels in games such as Grav, Starforge, Subnautica, 5089, Domestic Dog. I'm not joking about Domestic Dog, it has procedurally generated dogs. Really. Anyway, the lesson here is if you don't have a copy of No Man's Sky, you can simply play every other game in existence instead. And funnily enough, that would still take less time than visiting every planet in No Man's Sky. Makes you think, doesn't it? Also make sure you subscribe. Do it. Do it! Okay, thanks for watching this Randomise User Top 10. Have a safe day, and I hope you've learnt something today, even if it's just the Gax word for docking. Bye for now.